Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
One of my favorite lines when we're talking about books is, have you read a good book lately? Or in this case, have you written a good book lately? With me is William Gibson, and you are, in fact, an author from up Cloverdale area way, and wrote a book about your uncle?
My great uncle, yes. He was an airmail pilot in the 1920s and 30s. And his plane crashed, it caught on fire and crashed around Baker, Oregon in 1930. And about 5 years later, he got a visit from the Postmaster General's office and said that President Roosevelt wanted to give him the Airmail Flyers Medal of Honor. And so he went to Washington, D.C. along with 7 other guys, and they all received this Medal of Honor. And it's kind of one of those little-known things in history. Nobody's even heard about it.
Now, you, as I understand, found this information out after he had passed in a...
Yeah, he passed in 1942.
Okay.
My grandmother, which was his sister, they were both in vaudeville when they were kids, so they grew up in all around the country, doing vaudeville acts. Right. But when my grandmother died in 1976, I helped my dad with an estate sale at her house, getting rid of all of the furniture, and I found a box up in the closet of her bedroom, and I pulled it down and said Roy Warner on it. And so I opened it up, and there's first thing I see is a photograph of signed by FDR, and he's handing a medal to this guy. And I asked my dad who he was, and he says, "Oh, that's my Uncle Roy." Didn't I ever tell you about him?
Uncle Roy.
Yeah. But this book was full of newspaper articles, magazine articles about his exploits. He had an incredible career, and I talk about most of those things in the book, but his flight log was in there. He had put in over 11,000 hours in the air.
All delivering mail? Or
probably 90% of it was delivering the mail. And then he got blacklisted, actually, by the airline. I call it Traveler Airlines. My publisher didn't really want me to use the name of the real airline, because they were pushed. There was a thing called pilot pushing in those days, and this was in the late 20s, 30s.
Pilot pushing.
Okay. The airlines would force the pilots to. Didn't matter what the weather was like. They'd force the pilots to deliver the mail, to fly, and no matter the weather conditions. And most of these guys were former World War I pilots. A lot of them were. And they were dropping like flies because, they didn't want to fly, but they were threatened with to be fired if they wouldn't do it. And so my uncle's best friend, whose name was Joe Livermore, he crashed into a mountain. He and the co-pilot were killed. And he was flying in blizzard conditions. He didn't want to fly, and he told his wife that... he really didn't want to fly, but he didn't want to lose his job either. So his wife decided to sue the airline. And she approached my uncle, my great uncle, and asked him if he would write a letter documenting pilot pushing, and because they had done it to my uncle numerous times, forced him to fly when it was unsafe. Yeah.
Sure.
And so he did it. And as soon as the airline got a copy of the letter, they fired him and blacklisted him. He couldn't get a job with any airline in the United States. And so he decided to go to Peru. He heard about an airline starting up in Peru, Condor Airlines. And
heard of it?
Yeah. So he couldn't fly in the United States, and so he went to Peru. And he had heard about that from a group called the Quiet Birdmen. This is another kind of a secret air pilot club that started in 1923. I have a picture of it of his card, his membership card, it's made in brass. I have it at home. And basically, they called themselves the Quiet Birdmen, and they would get together about once a month in some restaurant, banquet room or something. And the reason they called themselves the Quiet Birdmen was because they were anything but quiet, and it was a pretty rowdy group. And so when he got fired from X Airlines, we'll call it, he
well, you're going to tell me off the mic.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. But so when he got fired, he went to the next meeting of the Quiet Birdmen, and that's where they call it the QB. And I still have his pins and stuff on that were in this box. But so they told him about that they had heard that there was an airline opening starting up in Lima, Peru, and he ought to check with Hugh Wells, who was the owner of the airline.
Now, the book itself is available where?
It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and it's available softcover, hardcover, and Kindle.
Now, is this your first?
That's my first book, yeah.
Is there a sequel?
No, there won't be a sequel to that. He passed away in 1942. This is pretty much his life history.
Are you driven to write something else?
I've been working on another book. I've been writing books for years, but I've never finished any. That was the first one I finished. Right now, I'm working on a book that is more of an autobiography of my time in the Marine Corps and Vietnam and whatnot.
Even though you're a jarhead, we'll excuse that because I was in the Army.
Oh, okay.
In Pursuit of the Wind.
Yes.
William Gibson is the author. He is with us now. In Pursuit of the Wind. Book is available on Barnes & Noble and
Amazon.
And Amazon. Back in a moment.
Saturday night, March 2nd, be at Chinook Winds Casino Resort as we welcome American country music singer-songwriter Ingrid Andress. Tickets start at $40 and are on sale now at the Chinook Winds box office. By phone at 888-MAIN-ACT or at ChinookWinds.com. Ingrid Andress. One show only Saturday, March 2nd at Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, where concerts are better at the beach.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries. In keeping with the theme of the program and talking about authors, we have another author we'd like to visit with a little bit. Ron Lovell has been in and around the Lincoln City area now for some time, correct?
Maybe 30 years.
Maybe 30 years. You might get to like it sooner or later. Right?
Yeah, still on trial.
Now, not only have you written a number of books, how many?
14 novels and 14 textbooks.
14 novels and 14 textbooks? Yeah. That's rather prolific.
Well, I guess. Well, the textbooks were because I needed those to get promoted at Oregon State. And then when I retired, I was tired of dealing with facts. So I was writing fiction.
Sure.
And that started the mystery novels. But all along, I wanted to get a nonfiction book published by a regular publisher. Never had a chance. I mean, topics that I had worked on as a journalist, I tried, but didn't have any success.
Now, backing it up as a journalist, you spent a lot of time in New York City as a journalist, did you not?
My first job was with McGraw-Hill. They used to have a news service. Mm-hmm. They had bureaus all over the country, and so I started in L.A., Houston, Denver, and then New York.
Writing hard news.
Yes. Okay. Well, news, of course, magazines are a little different. I never worked for a newspaper, but in the case of Denver, it was Business Week, and then I went to New York for their magazine, Medical World News, so I covered medicine. I wrote most of the time about subjects I didn't know much about. I just took good notes and prayed a lot. Not really. But anyway, all that time, I'd just love to have a nonfiction book published by a regular publisher. But as I say, topics I'd covered as a journalist, I couldn't interest anybody.
It is not the easiest thing in the world, obviously, to get somebody to publish your works.
Absolutely, unless you have a name. And
then they become knocking on your door.
Yeah, but never happened. I always have said with the nonfiction and the fiction, I could paper the walls of my house with rejection slips. And I think I've saved them all.
You'll get even one these days, Ron.
Right, I think so. But I did do a lot of textbooks, so that was a thrill, all journalism related. And so having those, made a difference. And I kept writing those all through the years. And, of course, that helped me with my academic career. But then after that, after I retired, I was tired of dealing with facts. So I decided I'd like to try fiction. And I've always been a big reader of mysteries. So I thought, well, let me try my hand at writing a mystery. So I did. And it started out with the main character being, guess what, a journalism professor.
What a surprise.
At a university not unlike Oregon State, although I called it Oregon University. I thought maybe they wouldn't like, the OSU powers that be wouldn't like.
Having bodies all over the place.
Yeah, stuff like that. So that one thing led to another. So I wound up writing with him as a character 10 books. And then I got tired of him, but I didn't want to kill him off. So I switched to another character, an immigration attorney, which kind of fitted in with the whole business of national business of worrying about immigrants and immigration and so on. But along the way, I tried for a publisher, and I did get one finally for who published the first 3 mysteries, a small publisher in Santa Fe. And after a while, started out gangbusters, Review and Publishers Weekly and Book List. And that, of course, you can't want a better place to have something. It wasn't really a review. That was just a mention. The only opinion word in that whole review was the story follows the sardonic Martindale. That was the only opinion word. But it did talk about the book. So after 3 books, he wasn't doing much to promote me. And so that was just the beginning of self-publishing. Of course, before that, that was a kiss of death. You can't get a publisher, so you publish your own books.
It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to publish your own book.
It is. So,
and expensive.
Yeah, I think each book costs about $5,000. So what you have to do, that includes printing, design, and editing. And so I just started it. A former student had done a book just before mine, and so I kind of learned a lot from him. So it was a printer in Washington, and then he went to another printer. I think it was the Midwest to save money. And so when they delivered the books, I had no loading dock, so they deposited these boxes of books in the middle of my street, and I had to try to get them into the house. But anyway, so one thing led to another, and I had a designer from Oregon State who I worked with. She became my designer, and then she had a friend who was an editor, so it was just really the 3 of us, plus hiring a printing company. And there was a very good one up in Washington that was very fair and not real expensive. Each book probably cost, with everything, maybe $5,000.
I do remember in one instance here in the community, a character within one of your books we auctioned off.
Yes, that's true. Well, that was to raise money for. I was on the Cascade Head Music Festival.
That's what it was for. I remember auctioning it off, but I couldn't remember what it was for.
So to raise money, and that's something one does. So this woman, she's now passed away, but she was a really neat lady. So it turned out I turned her kind of into Miss Marple. She was always butting in to where Martindale was trying to solve the crime, and her name was Pat. She got a big kick out of that. So that worked well. So I did do that. That's fairly common, I think.
So the most current book is this one, correct?
No.
Oh, there's one after this?
No, there's probably 4.
Oh, 4
in
after
that new
this.
series.
Okay.
Dangerous Decisions. Dangerous Decisiones is the last one.
And if somebody would want to buy one of the books, how do they go about doing it?
Well, Bob's Beach Books has them. And then they are also all on Kindle, which, of course, is probably people would rather do that. Every one of my books is on Kindle.
But the big thing is it's at Bob's Beach Books right here in
Yes.
Lincoln City.
Absolutely.
You don't need to wait for it to come in the mail. You can pick it up today.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
Bob's Beach Books, one of our sponsors.
She's been very helpful. She's very good to authors.
Ron Lovell. And again, can people contact you if they're
Sure.
interested in self-publishing a book?
Sure.
You may talk them out of it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you have a desire to have a book, that's the way to do it.
Very good.
And it's not as hard. I would go that route, because if you try to go otherwise, you've got to get an agent. Publishers are tougher now. They don't take any unknowns. So they spend all their money on authors that don't need the promotion.
Very good. Ron Lovell has been our guest. We'll take a break and more in a moment.
On your feet, on your knees, Blue Oyster Cult is back, live. Saturday, March 9th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. The red and the black is back. BOC. All the hard rock anthems of Blue Oyster Cult, live in concert. Saturday, March 9th at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ChinookWinds.com. Chinook Winds box office. Order by phone at 1-888-MAIN-ACT. Feel the thunder of Blue Oyster Cult. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
I'm Adina Zeller. Zellers is now in 2 North Lincoln County locations. The original Zellers in Rose Lodge and now Zellers in Lincoln City, formerly Maxwell's. Zellers with great family food and kickin' fun like our line dancing. Just wait until you try our homemade clam chowder.
Welcome back to our podcast, and we're going to switch gears and talk about one of my all-time favorite subjects, and that's Girl Scout cookies. Maddie is here, but not as important, but as important as well is her mom, Callie Mays, and Maddie Mays. You have been in Scouts a short period of time, but you're already immersed into it, are you not?
Yeah, we joined December. We did some Christmas carols. There was a break, and then we jumped right into cookie season. So we came into it right in the heat.
Cookie season is a pretty elongated activity, correct?
Yeah, you start and you do pre-orders for a few weeks, and then the cookies arrive and you'll deliver those. Once those are done, we do order more as a scout troop, and we start selling these cookies in the stores. So you'll start seeing the girls at McKay's and Safeway with the boxes of cookies, and they'll be trying to sell to you. And how do you tell those cute little girls no?
The girls get something extra special out of this cookies sales. I mean, the motivation, what they learn, there's just so much that they gather from that, is there not?
Yeah. The funds from the cookie sales do go to the club to help, with the costs of the different camps, their activities. But I think for the girls, it's nice to teach them, how to sell, how to safely sell. That's definitely something they go over, making sure that they're doing it in that safe way. They're able to have conversations with people. We brought Madison to the Kiwanis Club, and she got to meet each of the members and try to ask them. She's a little shy, so I think each year she'll get a little better at it. But
how many boxes of cookies do you sell at the Kiwanis Club meeting?
How many do you think you sold? It's probably close to 100. Yep. Do you remember how many that one person bought of Thin Mints?
20.
Yep, we bought 22 boxes of Thin Mints.
22 boxes.
A cinnamon.
Is that your favorite too, Maddie?
Yes.
Yes. And what else is there as far as cookies? Do you know?
What?
Do you know the other flavors of cookies?
I know some of them.
And they would be what, Maddie?
Trefoils, lemon ups.
Those are called Trefoils.
Trefoils.
Do-si-dos.
Do-si-do. Samoas. Tagalongs, Thin Mint.
Fun
Those are
stuff.
s'mores and toffee-tastic.
Now, at this age, she would be going to camp, or would she?
They offer it this summer for the daisies, I believe. I think they only have a one-night overnight as an option, whereas the other girls can go longer.
So what are the steps, if you will? You said Maddie just started in Girl Scouts. What goes?
Just a second. So right now she's a daisy, which is 5-year-olds to 7-year-olds.
Okay.
And then it goes to brownies that are 7 to 9. And then they have juniors, cadets, and seniors kind of going all the way up to 10th grade.
So all of the girls sell the cookies?
I believe so.
Okay, good. And again, the list of cookies that are available this year are what, Callie?
So the cookies we have are Adventurefuls, Lemon Ups, Trefoils, Do-si-dos, Samoas, Tagalongs, Thin Mints, Girl Scout s'mores, and Toffee-tastic.
Somebody likes that one as well. Mm-hmm. That's fun stuff. And you'll be selling again at 2 stores.
Yeah, we'll be selling at Safeway and McKay's all the weekends, so Friday evenings, Saturday and Sundays from 8 to 7 at McKay's and Safeway starting February 23rd, and it will run through March 17th.
Boy, that's a lot of cookies.
Yes.
That's a lot of Any goal of the number of cookies that you hope to sell?
Do you want to tell them how many cookies you want to sell? Is it 550 is our next goal? We started with the goal we started with the goal of 65, but the community's support and the support from my work and my husband's work and Kiwanis Club. Yeah, this little girl has a lot of people she's asked for cookies.
It does make a difference, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being at TLC, the credit you, Dina, there's a lot of people come through those doors.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's going to make you feel good.
It does. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I know it kind of seems it's just cookie sales, but really the community support that we have and that we get to raise our daughter in is just wonderful. It blows me away.
Now, you're talking about community support. You're also very active in the Kiwanis Club, the Chamber of Commerce. You've got your hands a little full, and then having a Girl Scout.
Yeah. So I'm a part of the Kiwanis Club, board member of the Chamber, and also a board member of the North Lincoln Hospital Foundation. I don't know how to say no, but I love all of it.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's, that community piece just is a big part of my life and what I like to do. And like I said, I think what you give to your community comes back, and I'm seeing that with my kids.
So somebody likes making a snow angel.
Yeah, are you making a snow angel on the carpet?
So what else should we know about the Girl Scout program here in Lincoln City?
One great thing that they just did that we were able to be a part of is they partnered with Point Break Fitness, and they had the club divide into 2 halves, and they went and did self-defense classes there. And I thought that was really great. You don't always think of some of those things to talk to your kids about, and so just having that chance to work with Tracy at Point Break and, some techniques if danger does come, or maybe what to yell if something happens.
Interesting. That is, at what age?
Well, they did all the girls, so they divided
Okay.
them into 2 groups. So the younger, they had it formatted more for younger, and then older. But just even, where to hit them in the nose or...
So if you got a mom or a dad out there and they want to get their child involved in scouting, what's the procedure? What happens?
There is a Facebook group. You could search it, message there. But I think going to girlscouts.org, and there's a button that says Find a Troop. You can look with your zip code, and that's probably the best way to get involved or
Very
get
good.
started.
Callie and Maddie, the Mays, half of the Mays family, here with us. And again, Girl Scout cookies, and again, they will be on sale at Safeway and
McKay's.
Mm-hmm. Girl Scout cookies, love them. Back in a moment.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, "The service was friendly and efficient." Another writes, "La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food."
I've asked this lady a number of times, have you read a good book lately, Diana Portwood?
I have, almost always.
And today you're reading what?
I just wrapped up a book. I'll be looking for a new one today.
Well, you're in the right place.
I am. The hard part is narrowing it down. I have so many, but then what am I in the mood for any particular day?
Now, you read for work or for pleasure?
Yes. Uh-huh. I usually try to read things that haven't come out yet so I can decide what we should order for the store and be able to give recommendations to people. I know a lot of our regulars, their reading habits and what they're looking for, so I can keep an eye out for things to recommend to them.
On this podcast, we have two authors that we're showcasing. Ron Lovell is one of them. You happen to have his books here.
We have all of his books. Actually, we sold some of his books yesterday. He's a regular popular author here at Bob's Beach Books.
Do you have a number of local authors?
We do. We have a section of Oregon authors, and then locals, we just kind of rotate them in and out. So we have them in the genre that they belong in, as well as our local section. We have an entire page on our website for authors. Just go to bobsbeachbooks.net, and you'll see a page, Info for Authors, and that tells you how we go about looking for books for the store.
That's going to be an interesting find, if you will.
Mm-hmm. We actually get people from all over the world, really, sending us info about their books. We get info for books pretty much daily, and all kinds of interesting topics. Yeah.
It's not just what you find on the bestseller list.
Oh, sure. Yeah. For example, Ron Lovell wouldn't be on, the New York Times bestseller list, but he'll be on our bestseller list.
Get a lot of requests for local Oregon authors?
We do. Yep. Pretty much daily. It's all over the place. It's fun.
Okay, now you've got two bookstores. You've got Bob's Beach Books and Robert's Bookstore. The number of books available down there is phenomenal.
I want to. It's got to. I'm thinking hundreds of thousands in the store, and then they have a whole separate inventory online. So if you want to look at any of the things listed on their website, just give them a call or send them an email, because those books aren't in the store, but they can bring them in for you to take a look at.
Okay, and books is not just the only thing that you offer here at Bob's at Beach Books.
Sure. Yep. We've got a whole lot of jigsaw puzzles. We have loads of stickers. We have fountain pens. We have art prints. We have all kinds of fun stuff.
Now you can answer the question, have you read a good book lately?
Yes. A really great one, a science fiction one I recommend, is Light from Uncommon Stars. Beautifully written book. A little bit heartbreaking, but really a wonderful book.
So there are a number of activities in and around the Lincoln City community we want to draw your attention to. One down the road, June 1, in fact, Willamette Valley Cancer Foundation is going to have a Coastal Classic Golf Tournament up at Chinook Winds Casino Resort Golf Resort. Now, it may seem strange that the Willamette Valley Cancer Foundation is having a fundraiser in Lincoln City, but most of their money that they raise from Lincoln City stays right here to help people that are suffering from cancer in and around the Lincoln City community. So it is a valuable tool, compliments of Chinook Winds and everybody involved with that. Nancy Oxnold is a good source for more information about that, Paul. We also have a grief support group. In-person meetings are going to be starting up for more information called the Samaritan Evergreen Hospice at 541-574-1811. Important information for you to be had as well. Speaking of important information, coming up next Tuesday, the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce is going to get an update on Lincoln County Emergency Communications. We need to be prepared.
For sure, all people do, and the community as a whole as well. So it's an individual responsibility, and it's a community's responsibility to ramp up their preparedness and their resiliency, and just be aware that big one is coming, and the little ones are here. So, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that We will have Lincoln County and Lincoln City representatives there to speak on the communications or lack of communications that we had during the fire. So what are we going to do next? We'll find out.
Very good.
And we'll be part of that solution right here with this podcast. So please plan to attend. Call the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce to make reservations because they need to know exactly who's coming and how many will be attending. It'll be at the Cultural Center next Tuesday, 11:30. Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce also is going to have their super auction, and you're going to have it, Adam, or we'll have it, Adam, in there.
Yeah, I think the Double R Show put a little ad package together, similar to we've done before for other freebie giveaways. But yeah, so we'll put something together here soon.
Yep, that'll be fun. And if you'd like to be one of the main sponsors, get hold of Lori up at the Chamber of Commerce office. Pearls of Wisdom, this is a fun event, March 2nd, 5 o'clock at Oregon Coast Community College. It is a fundraiser for the foundation and help students down the road with scholarship money. So for more information on that, contact the community college office in Lincoln City.
Go Sharks.
Go Sharks. Yeah, absolutely go Sharks. Antique Week is about over, but we certainly hope that you had an opportunity to go explore one of the many antique shops. Upcoming city events, let's see. We have on Monday, February 26th, the City Council meets. On March 5, the Planning Commission. March 6th, the Library Board. March 11th, City Council again. So some of the meetings forthcoming for the city of Lincoln City. Really proud to announce that a collaborative effort between the city, the American Legion Post of Lincoln City, and the Siletz Tribe. We will have a flagpole dedication probably around Memorial Day. Don't know yet exactly when it's going to be, but the city is erecting the pole. The tribe, through the Charitable Trust Fund, put up $2,500. The American Legion Post raised $2,500, and Representative David Gomber got us a flag that was flown over the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah, and this is going to be for the Ed Johann Plaza there right next to Bob's Beach Books in Ocean Lake.
It's just a wonderful, wonderful activity tied together, tying in what happens on Memorial Day to remember all of those sons and daughters that pay the ultimate gift. And that will do it to the doings on a Double R Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R Show. For Paul and Janet, I'm Double R. Have a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grahn.